Okay.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for making time to join us this morning for our annual SABWiL Human Rights Court. This year, it's a very special proceeding, I must admit. Having gone through the case, um, the question in itself really questions a lot of things. Particularly, it really interrogates um, the protection afforded by the Constitution to women at large. Thank you all for coming, and I truly hope that each and every one of you will enjoy our proceedings starting at 10 o'clock this morning. So, for those of you who have just joined us, the SABWiL Human Rights Court, rather, is an annual moot court competition that sits annually and aims, rather, to um, celebrate or commemorate the signing of the Constitution of the Republic into law by Nelson Mandela on the 10th of December 1996 in Sharpeville. My name is Boitumelo Sekgala, for those of you who don't know me. I've previously participated in the SABWiL Human Rights Court twice. I've appeared before um, uh, Advocate Malindi, SC. I've had the honor of appearing before um, Advocate Soroya Hassim, SC, and likewise Advocate Peter Makambeni. I've participated twice, once in 2017 and again in 2019. And yes, we've won on both occasions, 2-1. Thank you, thank you. Um, Apart from this, I wish to emphasize the importance of this initiative or this exercise today. It's quite a really important initiative in as far as practical legal education is concerned. You know, it goes without saying that moot court is a tool that is not only used to equip, but rather to develop and to upskill. Moot court gives a student or whoever's participating in it the practical know-how, or the um, exposes them to the practicalities that are somewhat involved in the fraternity, and it allows you to um, develop the necessary know-how to be a better lawyer, if not today, but rather tomorrow. So this is quite an invaluable experience, particularly for all those participating. And it goes without saying that um, the skills you learn today will very much be the skills you apply tomorrow. And ladies and gentlemen, without taking up much time, I would like to thank SABWiL for organizing this initiative, this rather fruitful initiative. I would also like to thank all the participants for submitting their applications, and going through with the requirements to be here today. I can say without a doubt, having been there before you twice, um, what you are doing today will serve you well in the future. You you best be proud of yourself, And um, I'm gonna take it back a little bit and step into the shoes of a muta. I know there are some of you that might be a bit nervous. It is to be expected. Nerves are pretty much part of the game. Like Advocate Gina Malindi said back in 2017, um, even senior counsel tends to get nervous when appearing in court, albeit they have been doing it for God knows how many years. So it's quite normal. It's quite normal. I would advise you to breathe, um, it's nothing that should really scare you. You have put in the work, you have put in the effort. This is your time to shine. This is your time to present your body of art um, that you have been putting together for the past few months. Just enjoy the process. Remember to breathe and don't let the nerves get the better of you. You know, you have great knowledge of this case. It's just a matter of conveying this knowledge right now. Thank you all again, rather, thank you for the invite. I wish everyone well for today's proceedings, and likewise, ladies and gents, if you wish to be a participant next year, much like our participants this year, please do follow SABWiL on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, for all the details that you might require to participate um, in these proceedings. I will now hand over back to the program coordinator. And yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Boitumelo, for those motivating words. That was motivating indeed, and I trust that the participants are feeling it. I would like to take this opportunity to go over the rules of engagement, ladies and gentlemen, beginning with I see that everyone's complying with this one, but I'm going to go over it nevertheless. Kindly ensure that all microphones are muted except for the participants and the justices. This is obviously to prevent distractions, feedback from surrounding and all that, but I'm sure we are all aware of this. I just had to mention it. Also, the issue of videos, I have been told by those that are technologically clever that apparently if we all have videos on, it chows a lot of, consumes a lot of broadband and makes everything slower. So if we could also keep those off, unless if it's absolutely necessary to have them on. I think the word that I'm looking for is internet stability. Oh, yes. And also, I would like it very much, and this was a request from our president, that if everyone could kindly have their full names on display. For example, if you look at mine, it says Cleopatra Mohao as SABWiL Human Rights Court, Court Registrar, and it also states that I'm an alumna. So if you could also kindly just change your name accordingly so that we know who's who throughout the proceedings. This goes for both everyone concerned, from the justices, the participants, as well as everybody else. Thank you. I will be keeping a time throughout the proceedings. How I will do this is I will communicate the time to the participants and anyone that is on the podium, or rather the speaker, through chat box. So please keep an eye on the chat box. The reason I want to do this through chat is because I want to minimize disruptions. I will only be vocal about it when your time is up, to indicate that your time is indeed up. But otherwise, it will be via chat. So kindly keep an eye on it. I The links will be provided after each session for the following session. So after this session, we'll provide the link for session 2 and so forth. And that's how it will go. We will adjourn twice, but then obviously this will be at the discretion of the justices because they are in complete control of these proceedings. I will also type the hashtags that we need you to use when you post on social media. I will type it in the chat box so that when you post about the proceedings, obviously you're excited. So I hope you are. So when you post about it, please do use the hashtag so that we can see your posts and so forth. I will also type in the official social media names for SABWiL. So that will be for Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. So whatever social media you're on, I'll just type all of those in, and then so whichever one that you're using, please tag us. Also, just this is the order in which each sides will submit their oral submissions. First, we'll have the applicants, and then the amicus, and then the respondents. And we will. That is, yes, basically as far as the rules of engagement, I think that's it from my side right now. We will discuss the issue of time, but I don't know whether the Chief Justice would like to do that just before we begin the second session, just to because this is at the end of the day at their discretion as the justices, whether they would like to communicate regarding the time frames. But the directive that I was given is that each lead counsel has 10 minutes to begin with, but then I'm not going to put my head on the chopping block. I will rather hopefully wait for hopefully let the justices deal with that. But yes, that is it on my side for now, that is. So yes, thank you very much, and do enjoy the proceedings. I would like to now hand over to our President, Ms. Prudence Mathe, for her presidential address. Madam President.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I am Prudence Mathe. I'm the alumni president, and I am here to give you the presidential address. Thank you to Mr. Sekgala for the warm welcome, and to Ms. Mahua, who's making sure that everything goes well today. So firstly, without wasting time, I'd like to express my gratitude to everyone who is joining us today. I understand that it is a Friday today and most people have other commitments to attend to. However, it fills my heart to see people making time out of their busy schedules in order to join us today. To the Honorable Justices of the Court, Chief Justice Advocate Baba Senior Counsel, Deputy Chief Justice Attorney Musa, and Justice Raji, we are grateful to have you presiding over today's proceedings. And before moving further, I'd like to recognize our founder, the founder of SABWiL NPC and CEO, Advocate Aisha Tayari. We are grateful to have you today in our midst. And also, I'd like to recognize the SABWiL board members who are here, the alumni who are attending, and yeah, to the applicant, the counsel for the amicus curiae, and the counsel for the respondent, and to those sitting in the gallery, I'm truly grateful to have you here. I must highlight 3 things that excites me the most about today's hearing. Firstly, that today we will be hearing the SABWiL proceedings virtually online. This is for the first time, and I must say that it is history in the making. Secondly, that this is the 5th SABWiL Human Rights Court. The fifth SABWiL Human Rights Court. We come a long way indeed. And also, what I'd like to highlight that excites me the most is that we have the amicus curiae for the second time since 2019, sorry. So this is the second time we have in the amicus curiae. Over the past first 3 years, we didn't have them, but now we do. So we are a movement that is forever moving, forever growing, forever evolving, and we are always looking for new ways to learn. So I'm truly grateful. I personally have been a participant of the SABWiL Human Rights Court, and believe me when I say that this is one of the greatest experiences ever. What should be noted though is that this is not your typical moot court competition like they usually call it. This is an educational program. SABWiL Human Rights Court is there to educate. And this is evident in how the proceedings are favorable and mindful of the best interest of the learner. So to the participants, be at ease and enjoy the ride. After all is said and done, you will be part of the SABWiL alumni fold, and you will be having a certificate to show off. So you have absolutely nothing to lose, but a whole lot to gain. As Mr. Sekgala has mentioned, that the hosting of the SABWiL Human Rights Court is on the 11th of December every year. And this has been part of our exciting culture as a movement. This is in order to celebrate and commemorate the signing of the 1996 Constitution of the Republic of South Africa by the former first Black president of South Africa, Mr. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. I must say that the signing of the 1996 Constitution has, it has left us with a legacy. We are able to realize and enforce our human rights, freely so. And as I mentioned earlier, that this is an educational program, and it will be seen in how the council will not be only advancing their arguments before the court, but they will also be educating us who are sitting in the gallery. I'm very excited to be sitting in the gallery today because I will be able to take in all that is said by the participants during the proceedings. COVID-19 has not only come with sorrow, as we now have new legal issues to solve. Really, what is the purpose of the law? What would the purpose of the law be if we don't have complicated and complex legal issues to solve? So it is not all gloomy, especially for us legal minds, as they call us. So yeah, we love it when we have more legal problems arising. So this will be the issue today. I don't want to dwell much on today's scenario, as the SABWiL Alumni Academic and Legal Research Officer will be giving us a summary of the case. So all I can say is that it is based on Section 10 of the Constitution, the inherent right to dignity. And yeah, I think we'll get more information regarding that from the academic officer. So my learned friends, please sit back and enjoy. And I urge the participants to have fun, to learn, and to stand out. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is truly inspirational, Madam President. We thank you for those wise words and very motivational and inspirational words indeed. Without any delays, I would like to hand over to our academic and legal research officer, Ms. Lerato Mudau, for her to explain the case scenario. Over to you, Ms. Mudau.
Thank you so much, Alumna Cleopatra Mohao. Greetings to everyone, to the justices, to the councils, participants, and the House at large. My name is Lerato Mudau, the Academic and Legal Research Officer for the SABWiL Alumni. My duty is to give a summary of why we are here today. The case which is brought before the court is informed by Section 10 of the Constitution, where the applicant complains that her right to dignity has been infringed by the lockdown regulations. Section 10 of the Constitution reads, "Everyone has inherent dignity and the right to have their dignity respected and protected." The applicant further averred that the lockdown regulations prevented her from earning a basic income. Now, we all know in December 2019, a deadly infectious disease caused by a novel severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus known as COVID-19 was discovered in Wuhan, China, and was since spread internationally. Following the outbreak of this deadly disease, on the 30th of January 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Thereafter, on the 11th of March 2020, it declared the outbreak a pandemic. In trying to curb the pandemic from attacking the Republic of South Africa, the South African government took lessons and examples from other countries such as the United Kingdom, the United States of America, where the pandemic had attacked them severely. The South African national government declared a state of national disaster on the 15th of March 2020. Following a declaration made on the 23rd of March, the president declared the national 21-day lockdown. During the initial lockdown period, the sale of alcohol and the operating of restaurants, shebeens, and taverns were prohibited. Now, this comes where regulations were put in place. Now, the regulation that deals with the ban of alcohol is Regulation 24, but specifically for this case, where a shebeen had to close down because of the whole COVID situation. Regulation 24(2)I is more convenient for that. Regulation 26 and Regulation 21, where it prohibits also the sale and transportation of alcohol and closing down of public places to curb the spread of COVID-19, of coronavirus. Now, prior to the lockdown regulations, which I had just mentioned, the applicant, who is Ms. Thandi Mashaba, a 45-year-old single mother of four children and one grandchild, who is also a sole proprietor of the sex shebeen, indicates that she generated her income through the sales of alcohol, which was supported by both local and international people. She avers that her children were surviving through her income, which she produced through the sales of alcohol. The applicant has instituted these proceedings, challenging the constitutional validity of level 4 lockdown regulations and asking the court to strike them down as invalid and unconstitutional. Now, the respondents in this case, we have the first respondent, who is the National Director of Public Prosecutions. We have the second respondent, who is the President of the Republic of South Africa. And we have the third respondent, who is the Minister, who is the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Now, the President and the Minister have jointly opposed the application, while the National Director of Public Prosecutions abided by the decision of the court. The President and the Minister argue that the lockdown regulations and other measures adopted by the government to curb the pandemic do not amount to infringement of the right to dignity. It was further averred that the lockdown was not directed against Mr. Mashaba or even the general at large, the general public at large, but rather at the entire community to flatten the curve and to ensure that lives were saved. The respondents further indicate that they had legitimate alternatives put in place, such as the Solidarity Fund Trust, to accommodate citizens such as citizens which are in positions such as the applicant. The respondents state that Section 36 of the Constitution permits for a limitation in the circumstances where lives are threatened, such as in the case of the COVID-19 pandemic. The ban on the trade of alcohol was necessary to prevent a public health crisis in South Africa. Therefore, in this case, the respondents seek that the relief which was sought by the applicant be dismissed, or if it's not dismissed, the regulation which are found to be unconstitutional. The order should be suspended for a period of 3 months while government tries and put measures to the opportunity to rectify the defects in the regulations, which the applicant claims to be unconstitutional. Now, the amicus curiae, Abafazi Equality Institute, applied for a leave to intervene as a friend of the court. The Abafazi Equality Institute wishes to argue that the ban on alcohol is constitutionally valid. It stated that the ban of alcohol had important implications during lockdown, which extended beyond mere public health. Furthermore, the institute indicates that the ban basically sustained, among other things, the right to equality, the right to dignity, and the right to freedom of security of a person or of the applicant in question. They further submit that the court must balance rights, must balance the rights against the rights claimed by the applicant. I'm assuming we all are familiar, obviously, with what was happening during the COVID period, the lockdown period. A lot of things were very shaky. However, now in this case, this concludes the case summation for the proceedings, and the hearing will commence. Thank you. I will hand back to the registrar, Cleopatra Mohao.
Wow, thank you very much for that, Ms. Mudau. I think everyone can say now without a doubt that they know what we all hear about, so, and can follow the case thoroughly. We are running very much ahead of schedule. I don't know whether to say I'm pleased about that or whether to say I'm disappointed. I was hoping that Lerato was going to go on and go in depth, but then that might just be giving the plot away, and we don't want that. So yeah, I'm very much conflicted about how I'm feeling right now. But by my watch, we are looking at 9:38 a.m. So we are very much ahead of schedule. So my suggestion is that we log out as planned. And so what this means is that we just have an extra 10 minutes. So this gives us 20 minutes to go grab a cup of tea, stretch our legs. We are going to be sitting for quite a while when we come back. So stretch our legs, grab something to drink. Those of us that haven't had breakfast will quickly grab food, something to eat. And then let's come back promptly at 9:55. I would appreciate it very much if everyone would be logged in, seated and ready to go at 9:55 on the dot, so that we can carry on at 10 o'clock without any delays. And with that, ladies and gents, also the people in the gallery, what we will do, I will speak to the admin at SABWiL to load the login details for the second session on the SABWiL page. So if you haven't followed SABWiL yet, this is your chance to do it. You've got 20 minutes to do it. Go follow SABWiL everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, you name it, you've got options. So go do that, and then the links will be loaded on there, since we don't have you on a group or anything where we can send it at once. And then you can come back at 5 to 10 rather. Yes.
Registrar, may I just ask, seeing as we have extra 10 minutes, is there any comments from the House or any thoughts from the House?
Yes. I like how you think, ma'am. Yes, please. Does anyone in the House have anything that they would like to say, perhaps questions, comments, anything at all?
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity for those that are present, simply just to say thank you for being here and sharing with us our 5th SABWiL Human Rights Court, and also our first virtual hearing. And well done to the SABWiL President, EXCO, for convening this phenomenal forum and putting all the criteria together. And I look forward to the address by the council. And we are very, very excited, because without each one of you, today wouldn't be. So Igama, lamakhosikazi, malibongwe. And if there's nothing else from anybody else, then we'll see you at 5 to 10.
Yes, thank you very much. See you guys at 5 to then. Okay.
Advocate Baba,
Yes.
should I pause? Should I stop?
I think if we're going into the second session, we can stop on this one and then we log into the second session.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, and then we can leave and then I'll make you co-host
Yeah.
on that one.
Oh,
So
okay.
Lerato, if you're
Yes.
gonna stop recording now, stop recording first.